be sad and mourn. Now pay back. The kid that came out of me, you want to be good. Mine. Hi guys, welcome to Tasha Reacts. Welcome to Tasha Reacts. Hope you're doing well, be doing good in the hood. Hi, my name is Tasha. I do have another channel called Tachassociety where I do hair, beauty, mostly hair over there. And I do have another channel called Tasha G where I do story times. I will be a little bit more consistent. I already know. I have not really been posting over there. Alright, but check me out. Let me put my disclaimer out there. If the person comes up to me and say, hey girl, you don't have the right to be sharing my video, I will take it down because I don't care. I usually leave the person's information down in the description bar and their TikTok handle towards the end of the video. Let me say, this is a reaction channel, so I will be speaking through the video. Sometimes I get a little bit off topic. Sometimes I vent. Some videos trigger me. So I'm just letting you know that I will be speaking towards a lot in this video, and sometimes I talk a lot, so I usually leave the person's information down in the description bar. Okay, if you don't want to hear me talking like, girl, I just came for the story, maybe I always leave the information down the description bar if I can find it, right? Okay, I want to say thank you guys. We are 10 subscribers away to being at 500 subscribers. I want to say thank you guys. I truly appreciate y'all. This week I am going to be a little bit more, I have a couple of videos, so I'll be throwing out this video. I think this video will be a part 1 and part 2. I think this is the person, she is the mother responding to the story time. I will leave it here, of the friend who got, and he died in the same day his homeboy's funeral, you know, or whatever. So yeah, so this is the mom of the boy who was laid out on the couch responding to the video that he made. Okay, so if you haven't checked the other one out, go check it out. So let's get started.
Hey, it's story time. So I just kind of wanted to share my son's story. I know some of y'all have saw his pictures on my on my TikTok about my child, and I got this because of somebody that was on TikTok doing his story, and he was talking about how he was shot, him and his friend, from being set up by a woman. And this is exactly what happened to my son, and it just brought back memories. So I want to share my story with you guys. I'm gonna go back. It was in December of 2020 when he was unalive. A week before he was murdered or unalived, he got a call from his baby mama. Now, my son has 3 baby mamas, and his oldest son's baby mama, she called him and he didn't answer the phone. So I guess when he didn't answer the phone, she called me, and she was like, hey, Miss Keisha, is J-Rock okay? Because somebody just said he got killed. And I was like, what? I said,
baby mama, can I talk to you? Hey. I think there should be a different way to, okay, I know you the baby mama, right? Or girlfriend, I don't know. You know, I don't be knowing these people's stories. But I feel like there should have been a different way approach you came to the mother. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody calls me, right? My son has a baby mother, girlfriend, whatever. And she comes up to me and says, hey, Tasha, I just heard you got killed. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's not... I feel like there's ways, like, hey, did you hear from J-Rock? No. Oh, okay. You know, I'm just looking for him. You can play it off. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like some people always want to be the first one to tell people. Like, I don't know. You know, like those people when someone passed away and they're that friend that always knows somebody passed away. Like, oh girl, did you hear that da passed away? She probably was trying to get it from the horse's mouth. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I think you would know by the tone of her voice. Like, hey, did you talk to J-Rock? You know, I'm hearing some stuff. Let me find out and I'll follow up with you. If she asks, like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. I'm just hearing some rumors. You know, let me find out. Get the source first. Because you're the baby mother. You're going to know regardless. Because for some reason, people always want to tell the baby mother stuff before they tell their wife or the girlfriend. I don't know what it is. Like, every time something happens to my exes or both of my baby daddies, people always want to tell me. So you would find out regardless. I feel like there's levels to it. You feel what I mean?
I said, who would say that? I said, no, he's good. He's downstairs playing his game. He's in his room. And she was like, oh, okay. I said, well, who said it? She's like, oh, never mind. I'm like, okay. So I went downstairs and I told Lil Jay, I said, she just called saying that, you know, you got killed or whatever. He's like, what? He's like, man, she's crazy. I'm like, yeah, she is. Whoever told her that, I don't know what's going on. So anyway, a week later, on December the 16th of 2020, the day my son was unalived, I felt something in my spirit. It was something in my spirit. I don't know what it was, but I felt like something bad was going to happen. I felt like it was me. I was going to be the one to leave. And so I texted him in my...
It's always like that. Like, you, like, that's why I never experienced it with my kids. But if something bad is happening, like, especially like I always said, the only person's death I really had was my dad and my best friend, Patrick. When he passed, I just woke up grumpy. Like, I woke up like, yo, something's wrong. I don't feel good today, you know? I mean, when my sister came and told me the news, like, yeah, you know, he passed, I felt it. You know, sometimes it's just like, it's like God is like preparing you. Like, yeah, today ain't gonna be a good day. You know? I can't even imagine as a mother.
Texted him and my youngest son, because I have two sons. I texted both of them in a group and I said, you know, I love you guys. If anything ever happens to me, look out for one another, take care of each other, you know, be there for each other. And they both like, Mama, we good, we love you too. And of course, always, you know, and this and this and that. So I let that go now. I get off of work at 5 o'clock. So I go home the way I normally go home. I get to the house. My son's girlfriend, which is my youngest son's grandmother, that's who he was with. That was his girlfriend who he had been with for a while, his long-term relationship with her. She was home cleaning up the basement because my son had to go do like a promo or something for his album that he was doing, his song that he was doing called Ice. So he had to use her car because he didn't have his car was messed up. So I'm cooking dinner. I'm making pork chops and something. And she said, well, you know, Lil Jay want me to make, I forgot what they were making, but she wanted to cook him that, and that's what he wanted. So she's cleaning up the basement, cleaning up their room and stuff, because they both were staying with me at the time. And I'm sitting upstairs cooking, and she come upstairs, she's like, Miss Keisha, Lil Jay ain't answering the phone. And I'm like, because they will get into it, and if he don't answer the phone, she gonna blow him up, you know. She gonna be like,
yeah, that's every woman. Like, why he ain't answering? Why he ain't answering the phone? You call. I remember my ex's mom used to be so, poor lady, she used to be in the middle with all of us. Like, why he ain't answering? Can you call him? That was the young time, you know. You don't answer my phone, baby. Don't try to call me. Because, baby, my block button's crazy. Alright, don't worry about it.
well, you know, thinking that he's doing something. So my mind is, calm down. He ain't got to always answer the phone. As soon as you call, give him a chance to call you back. And she's like, no, something's different. Something's different. I'm like, he's okay. So I started calling his phone, and it kept going straight to voicemail. So then, you know, I'm sitting there, not really thinking too much of it. So she comes back upstairs, and she said, I think I see my car on the news in a shooting. And I'm like, what? So my youngest son's like, she's tripping, mama. She tripping. I'm like, yeah, right, girl. I said, girl, it is not your car in no shooting, you know. So,
I think I don't know my car. I think, no. Well, maybe, as a mother being in denial. But if I come to you, ma'am, I think I see my car in the shooting. I would have got up and left. Like, where you going? Y'all don't believe me? I'm gonna go get my car. And go check on my baby. But as a mother, she probably just think like, okay, she's tripping. She's trying to find a reason, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. Why would you think she's tripping? I don't know. I feel like there's different stages of, not denial and stuff like that. So you probably just, you know her more than we know her,
she goes, she was nervous. So I had my youngest son. I said, take her, because we knew where the scene was because it was on the news. I said, take her down there just to get it off her mind, to show her that it's not Lil J, He's like, all right, mama, I will. 2 mistakes I made at that moment was having them to go down there because of what they encountered when they got there. So they go down there. They called me screaming. It's my car. She said, it's my car, Mom Dukes. She called me Mom Dukes. It's my car. It's my car, and I don't know where Lil J is. I don't know where Lil J is. And I'm like, what? Your car. She's like, yeah. So at that point, I'm in a panic. Now I'm trying to find my son.
It'd be so hard for me to click it. My heart, it's just like I got chills. Like, that broke my heart. Like, oh man. Like, I don't even know. I feel like God makes the strongest people go through the strongest things, because like, poor girlfriend, poor brother, poor mother, like.
Where is he at? Because he wasn't at the site, the scene. Where is he? So they come back home.
Wait a minute. It just came in my head. You know what I'm thinking? So in the story time with that boy, right? He said that his friend was sleeping in the couch and they brrrr him in the house. But when she tells the story, she said he got brrrr in a car. Check out the other story time, and those who watched it, tell me I'm not tripping. Alright.
Come back home. And I called my son's father and I said, she said that he was shot, the car was shot up, but we don't know where Lil J's at. And he's like, what, man, that ain't, let me ride around, see what's going on, so he's riding around looking for him. They done all went to the hospital. He's not we couldn't find him at the hospital. So, I don't remember who called and said that my baby was dead, but they called my boyfriend and they said, they heard that he was dead. I can't even remember how it happened, but I looked at him when he got the phone call, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, no, I'm looking like, no, don't tell me that, don't say nothing, do not open your mouth, do not say that, don't say that. And next thing I see was my sister coming in my house, falling in my house. And she's falling and she's crying, and I'm looking at her like, y'all calm down, Lil J's okay. Calm down. He's not dead. And my youngest son's like, Mama, yes he is. He's dead. The car shot up. I'm like, will y'all stop? Just stop saying that. He's okay. Let me just find him. So, the night goes on, so we get in the car, we ride, trying to find him, and I still couldn't find him. So I get a call from the coroner's office, and they tell me that my son, well, they asked me, did he have two tattoos on his hands? Um, one for Justice and one for my youngest baby, John, my grandbaby. And I said, yeah. And they was like, well, is it? And I'm like, yeah. They was being real smart. And I'm like, I'm, this is still not a reality for me, you know. The reality was still like, I'm still looking at everybody like, why are y'all screaming, and why are these people calling me, telling me to identify, having me identify my son with his tattoos. Um,
What sucks when you go to like certain places and they're so desensitized, they're so used to it. To them, they don't realize like, dang, I'm a mother. This is my kid. This is me. But to them, it's like, okay, yes or no? Is this your kid or not? Is this body your body or not? Like, and this lady's still in denial because she's like, this is not him. I'm gonna go look for him.
so I was still in distress, and so we all meet up at the store where he was killed, and everybody's just out there crying, and I'm just looking.
So he was killed at the store, but the guy said in the story he was killed on the chair. I'm confused. I'm confused.
I was just out there crying, and I'm just looking because I'm still in disbelief. So one thing I could say is, when you lose somebody, when somebody loses somebody, and you see that they are not crying, it's not because they are not hurting. Their body has went into defense mode. Their mind has went into a defense mode to where they are in protection. Because a person could really lose it, because it's what I thought I was gonna do. But anyway, stay for part 2 so that I can tell you how it all happened and who caused him to be unalived, who caused him to be not here no more without his kids. He was 26 years old. Also, it wasn't just my son who was shot and murdered that day. It was his best friend. They were murdered together in a vehicle, his girlfriend's vehicle, at the store. Um, part 2 coming soon. Thank you all for listening, and I need to get this off my chest. So I am going to release this with you all today. Thank you. Part 2 of how my son was unalived and um, set up by a girl. So now we at the store. I'm still in shock. We go.
So I'm making these faces because I'm confused. In the story, the boy said it was just him and his friend, right? His boy had narcolepsy, was sleeping on the couch, and got. Is this the same story? Or is this someone else? I'm confused. I'm confused.
Still in shock. We go through the funeral. The hardest time of my life. Um, Now, after all that is over, we sent him home. Um, he was buried in the same process while I'm, burying my son. My mother's in the hospital because when she found out, she had a heart attack. So she's in the hospital at that moment and fighting for her life. So it was a lot. It was a lot. Um, the funeral was a blur. I don't remember anything. Again, I hadn't seen my son since the day before I went to work that night. So the first time I saw him after he was murdered was to go to the funeral home to see, if we liked what they did. And I asked God to give me the strength to go through that because I didn't think I was going to make it through that. So the first time I seen my baby, he was in a casket and he was sleeping. And it was the most hardest time of my life to this day because it doesn't get easy. So we get through that. We go to the funeral, this and this and that. So now I'm at, it's go time. Because who killed my motherfucking son? Because now I'm pissed. And I won't.
Girl, that's me. I be sad and mourn. Now pay back. The kid that came out of me. You want to be good. Mine. Mine.
And I want they fucking heads. Okay? I wanted them to see, go through the, I wanted them to feel the same stuff that my baby had to feel leaving this fucking world. So now I'm on like the detectives. We getting information because you know the streets talk. They telling us this and that. So we kind of got the people who killed them. But now it's just to connect the dots with the detectives. So now I get a phone call. Well, no. I get a text from a girl. And this girl says that, you know, she knew my son and him and his friend, they were supposed to come to her house that day, but they never made it. And I'm like, okay, when was the last time you talked to him? And, you know, my son, they was killed at 5:15 p.m. And she was on the phone with his friend at 5:12 for about 2 minutes. So now I'm like, you were on the phone with him. Okay, so we get the police report. Well, the police finally gets my son's phone open and his friend's phone open to find out, you know, who could do this. So we get to the police station. They show us the video, what we could see, because they wouldn't let me see the actual part. But I see my son pull up at the store. He pulls in. He gets out. He goes in there to buy some chips and a drink, hot fries to be exact, because that was his favorite. And across the street was a black Chrysler 300. Right across the street. Wait.
I have a quick question. How come every time somebody tells a story, it's always a black Chrysler or a black Ford? Is that the only cars you guys use? All the time. Black Ford or black Chrysler. But this is kind of confusing me because so is the other boy lying? Did he just make up the story? Is he part of the setup? Okay.
Right across the street, waiting. My son hadn't even pulled up to the store yet, so they were waiting, which means they knew that they were going to be at that store. My son wasn't followed. They were not followed because the detectives followed them from when he picked up his friend all the way to that store, and they were not followed. So they were at that store waiting. Once my son gets back in the car, they come across the street. They drive across the street. They park at the gas station. 2 shooters jump out the car. They spray my son's car up. They jump back in the car with the license plate gone, and they leave. They were all masked up with masks, all black on. So so now back to this. I'm talking to the girl, and she said, so I said, well, did you know that, you know, you were on the phone with him when they were getting murdered? You were on the phone with them when they were getting murdered. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, but you were. I said, but so you know. She's like, if you need anything, let me know. If you ever need it.
Wait a minute. So someone getting, I'm not trying to be funny, okay? So if someone getting, you're gonna yell. You're gonna hear, oh shit. No. How you on the phone with him? You go, oh my God, you got really? Something ain't adding up with these stories. Who's telling me the truth here? Okay, the boy said he was in the car in the couch. He went to go to McDonald's like do 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 with the setup chick. They came up to him, yo, put your hands up. They and then they ran in the house, sprayed his boy, and then he was like stumbling. And then he sat next to his boy. He said, "You good?" And his boy didn't answer, but he thought his boy was asleep, even though he had narcolepsy. Now I'm talking to you, ma'am, and now you said that you was on the phone. Y'all seen the police report. He went to go get some hot fries and some juice, and he got somebody came out of Chrysler and to him, but the girl was on the phone while he was like, what's going on? What is going on here?
Oh, if you ever need anything, let me know. I'm like, okay. Now, once we get the phone records from my son's phone and his friend's phone, the last person my son had talked to was his girlfriend, the one that lives with me, and his cousin. Um, his friend had spoken to that girl via text each minute of when as they were en route to supposedly go to her house. As they were en route, it was, where you at, where y'all at now, where you at, where y'all at now, this and this and that. So she knew their exact locations and what they were doing at each.
Oh, so the one that caught you was the setup chick. So she probably called you because her phone records will probably be on it, and she wanted to like clear her name out. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Particular moment, which is why those men in that black Chrysler 300 knew that they could sit there and wait at that stop sign at across the street from the store, and they knew my child and his friend were going to be at that store. So I'm asking her, you know, you were texting them back and forth. Can you talk to the detective and give them that information? Yeah, I will talk to the detectives because, I have nothing to have and I want to help them as much as I can. Okay. So now the detectives reach out to her. She doesn't answer the phone. They go to her house. She doesn't answer the door. And that was the last time I talked to that girl. So then I contact my son's other baby mama, the one that had called me and asked me, was he dead a week before he passed away? And she said, so yeah, her. So I called her and I asked her, I said, um, do you know who would ask you, who would tell you that my son was dead? Why would you ask me, was he okay? Who would say that? And she's like, nobody. It's not nothing serious. No, but it is serious because my son is dead. Okay, like it is serious. So whoever you spoke to must know something. And why would they call you and tell you that, or whatever? So
Is she the setup chick? Yo, this is too much for me. This is too much for me. I kind of forgot about the baby mother. So is the baby mother the setup chick? Yo.
So she still would never give me the name because I wanted her to give the name to the detective. She wouldn't give me the name of the person who said that that my son was dead. So we do more digging, and my family and I, we were doing real detective work. My and I won't mention people's names just because this is still an open case, and it is at this moment. But anyway, so now I'm going to trying to figure out, let's get this girl, the one that was on that phone, the one that was texting him. That's who we need. That's who we need. You know. So We go into the whole point. We're doing all of that. So we're doing all of that, and I'm putting pressure on the detectives because I'm like, we have basically solved this case for you. We need to get the girl. We get the girl. We get the shooters. We get the driver. This is simple. This is easy. This is a cut and dry case. So when I get the names of the gentlemen, of the four people that shot my son, I calls one of them because I knew him because he was an acquaintance of my son. I'm not going to even say a friend. He was an acquaintance of my son. So stay tuned for part 3. It gets good. Part 3 of how my son was shot and killed and set up by a female. So now I calls the guy, one of the guys who I heard that had killed, unalived my son. So I get on the phone and I say, "Hey, what's up?" And I said, "Your name is ringing in the streets. Um, they're saying that you were one of the shooters." And he's like, "I wouldn't. No, I didn't do that. I didn't do it. I was at work." So I said, "What time do you get off work?" And he said, 4:30. I said, "My son was killed at 5:15. You can go anywhere in this city, in Louisville, Kentucky, and it'll take you 30 minutes to get there." So now he's like, I'm they put my name in it because I'm guilty by association. I said, "Well, what does that mean?" And he's like, "I'm guilty because, I know I guess because of the people who did it, because I know them, and, we friends and this and that." And I'm like,
He's just rambling. First of all, if you're guilty by association, now she's gonna be like, who is the people that you know? So you basically snitching. Can you gangster people think? If you want to be a gangster, you got to think. Let's think about it. Let's think about it.
that. And I'm like, "Well, who are they?" I really can't say their names and this and that. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So, make a long story short, I hang up from him because the detectives had told me, she said, "We need, information, people that's going to say they know." So I called her and I say, "Look, I just talked to this young man. I don't believe nothing that came out of his mouth. Um, he told me he was at work. Can you go and get his work records to prove that he was not at work and then question him?" Um, she said, "Okay." So as time go on, we get more names, the other shooters. So now, come to find out, my grandson's mother, the one that called me a week before my son passed and said, "Miss Keisha, is Lil J okay? Somebody said he was dead." Her, she was sleeping with one of the shooters. Yeah. So now I'm putting two and two together, like, you were sleeping with one of the shooters. So maybe he was the one that told you that my son was going to be whatever. I called the detectives on that. Um, they say we're going to look further into it. That's what they said, because I'm hoping that they'll do their detective work. I've given them the tools to find out, you know, they don't have to go look far. I've given them the tools. So I call her and I say, why didn't you tell me you were messing with this guy? He's the shooter. And she says, but it was like 2 years before this happened. And I'm like, but it's just strange that you were messing with one of the guys that killed my son. Um, so, we went back and forth, and I'm like, look, you need to call the detectives, talk to them about this guy, this and this and that. So, she just, she would not do it. So now,
Of course not. Because first of all, if she's messing with the dude, like, let me explain something. You know, just because that's her baby daddy doesn't mean she has loyalty to him. That's her baby daddy. So if somebody calls me and say, hey Tasha, I'm messing with my man, okay? Even though I would never put myself in that predicament. But I'm messing with my man, and my man's like, yeah, I got beef, baby daddy number 2, and da da da. Okay, please, don't tell me, because it's not my business. I don't want to know. But, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Okay. And I call, my baby daddy number 2's mom was like, hey, I heard baby daddy number 2 got ended. And his mom was like, no, she's fine. And then she calls me and like, okay, he ended up getting ended. Like, Tasha, how would you know? My loyalty's to my man. No shit, no tea. Just because he's my baby daddy. And especially baby daddies, you know how baby daddies are. No shade, no tea. Just because I had a kid with you don't mean I have loyalty to you. I have respect to you for you because you're his mother. Yes. I have respect for you because you're my son's grandmother. My son's grandmother. Yes. But I don't have to have loyalty to you. I'm not going to snitch on my man. No. You know what I'm saying? That's not my business. And that can end wrong with her too. You don't know what type of dude it is. What if he only told her certain information and then she come tell you and he ended her too. And your grandbaby. Baby, the streets is a scary place. I don't know how y'all women do it, but.
So now the detectives end up calling her. I don't know what they question her about. They question her about something. I'm not sure. So again, the other girl that was the one on the text messages texting his friend, she was never heard from again. Okay. So my son's case is still open. Now, these girls, come to find out, the girl that was texting my son's friend in the process of them about to getting murdered, her and my grandson's mother, the one that called me on the phone and asked was he dead, they're friends, and nobody knew it. Nobody knew they were friends. So the girl, bought my grandson a blanket, I think, of his father when he passed. Um, yeah, it was kind of like it was diabolical, is what it was. It was diabolical because I don't know if I said this in my previous videos. My son wasn't out here hurting people. He wasn't a killer. He used to get money in the streets, not robbing nobody.
Mama, I don't know you, ma'am. It's very hard for me to believe, right? Your son is a hood dude, getting money, and you making it seem like he's Peter Pan. He's robbing the rich and giving to the poor. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm not gonna sit here and talk about, because he had baby mama and stuff like that, because that does come in the picture too. But I can't believe he wasn't a little bit hood. He didn't have a little bit of can't believe that. Because you're his mom, you're gonna take for him. Cause my kids, that's like me as a kid. My mom used to be like, "You're having sex?" I said, "No, I'm a virgin. I didn't like a body. Had a baby. You're having sex? No, I'm a virgin." The evidence is there, but I'm still a virgin. No, okay.
Nobody, getting money by doing, selling things. I won't say what he was selling. He was, selling things, getting a lot of money. However, he had went to jail for that, and in 2019 he was released, and he turned his life around, and he wanted to be a rapper. He just wanted to pursue his rapping career. So that's why I said I was in shock when he was gunned down, because I didn't see a reason for it, because he wasn't out here like that. Um, and there was just not any reason. So I'm on the detectives, and I'm on the detectives with all of this evidence that I've given them to get these people, to take them off the street, to lock them up, because I need to look them in their eye, or heaven probably needed to look them in their eye, is the way I was feeling then. But now I've I've had 4 years to process this, and I don't want any more bloodshed. I don't want any more bloodshed. I want justice. Um, the detectives, they were so mad at me. They were so mad. I've called these people with all of, like I said, the evidence. The detectives ended up getting the car that the guys were in. It was used in another murder. Um, and they said they were going to question the guy that owns the car. They never done that. They never got the work records from the guy that I was on the phone with to even prove that what he said was he was at work. They never got that. They never got a warrant, they had never questioned anybody in my son's case. Anybody. Never. So once I was on the detective, and this is LMPD, I was on her every single day about all of this, because she had so much evidence, so much that they did not use at all. She told me, "I'm just going to put your son's case to a cold case." That's what you want. You want it to be worked on, don't you? You want it to be looked into, really detailed, don't you? She couldn't deal with me no more. She threw my son's case to a cold case. And the cold case detective, I very seldom talk to him. So, um, like I said, this is an open case. It has been seen. I mean, it is the fact that he was set up by a woman. And I still don't know why. I still don't know why a woman would set him up. He wasn't robbed. Like I said, he didn't have no money. These people just wanted my son dead. And they wanted his friend dead. So just to let you all know, um, you can do all the amount of detective work you want. LMPD is never going to solve a case, because they don't want to do the legwork. They don't want to do the legwork. Even if you've done the legwork, they don't want to do it. Um, Women are out here setting up our sons. And I'm telling you right now, if you are a man and you feel something's off about a woman, get away from her. Get away from her. They're setting you guys up. They set my son up, and he's no longer with us. Um, I'm still hoping for justice, and I will get justice. It's not over, and I'm still fighting. Thank you all for listening. Good night. Kiki, thank you for asking this question, because I forgot to say this. It's so much to this story, that just a lot that unfold. But anyway, no, she does not allow me to see my grandson. She was letting me see him in the beginning, before, when he first passed away, she was kind of, letting me see him. And then it started getting weird. So she don't really, she wasn't really letting me see him a whole lot anyway. When my son first passed. So I have not seen my grandson in almost 2 years. He will sneak and call me every blue moon on occasions. But when she comes around, he tells me, Gigi, I gotta call you back. So we miss him. We love him. I hate that he's caught in the middle of all of this. But I will tell him this very same story because he needs to know his father's story, and this is his father's story that he needs to be told.
I don't think you should tell the grandchild that because first of all, you said the mother is a setup woman. It might be part of it. I feel like there's some things you got to protect, and you're a mother and you're hurt, and I get it. And I think maybe that's why the mother's keeping you away, because she probably feels like you're probably sabotaging her name too, or probably talking about certain things, or maybe you mentioned something, because hurt people do hurt things. I'm just
That he needs to be told. So her not letting me see him just really lets me know that she's guilty. Um, she had told so many different lies about this guy. It was unreal. She told me a version of the story, told my son's father a version of the story. 1 minute she said that she hadn't talked to this guy in 2 years before my son passed away, and then the next minute she told me he asked her about my son's music. When he came over her house, he saw my son's music video or poster or something. And my son didn't start making music till a year before he passed. So it was weird. It was a lot of lies. So yeah, I think she's staying away because she knows that I'm not gonna give up, and I see straight through her. She's always been my son has 3 baby mamas. She's always been the most vindictive and the most evilest one of them all. Um, she wanted a relationship with my son that he never ever wanted and never had with her.
Mama. Mama. This is your son, not your boyfriend. Your kid. I get the hurt. I get it. But there's a lot of energy with the baby mama. It's a lot of energy. And the crazy thing, it probably won't even be her. It might not even be her. I feel like you're making it seem like your son is this prized man, and she was chasing your son, and your son, I don't like to talk about the dead, but something ain't adding up. I feel like you're putting your hurt towards this baby mother, and I don't know her. Don't think because she's a baby mother I'm defending her, but I've been with baby daddy's mamas, or been around friends that had baby daddy's mamas that act like that just all their energy towards the woman, like, and my son didn't even want you, and my son didn't da-da-da, and she's on my son, and you don't even know. The son could have been in the house like, please baby, don't leave, don't go, I love you, and she the one who left. And he tell his mama, yeah, I didn't want her like that, she was on me. I get it, you're hurt. Hurt people do hurt things. The story ain't adding. I don't know. I feel like you're putting a lot of energy towards this girl. You're saying the baby mother, who is the setup chick. That's who the energy should be on. Shorty don't owe you no loyalty but having a baby for your kid. That's it. She's not your family. Even if she knew who did it, she don't have to tell you anything. Just the way you're speaking about her, I wouldn't have you around my kid either.
They just had a child, and she knew that. So they were barely even on speaking terms. They never really spoke while he was alive because he had me go in between them to go get my grandson and all of that, because he would tell me, Mama, she's evil. I don't want to be nowhere around her. She's evil. And I would see that evil. I would see it. And I've seen it since my son passed. So I would rather not deal with her. I love my grandson. I can wait until he gets older, if need be, to be in his life, if he wants to be in my life, no matter what she's telling.
What made her evil? I want to know. I just want to know what makes the baby mother so evil. Besides the fact that you want justice for your son, you feel as if that she set up your son and is cool with the setup chick, as you say, and she's not cooperating with you. That makes her evil? I'm just asking. Or is it the fact that your son, you see no wrong with your son? Because right now, I feel like you making your son feel like he is the most innocent guy. He has 3 baby mamas. This girl's on him. She's so evil. So if she's so evil, why would you want her to cooperate with you? If she's so evil, why do you want... Like, I don't know. The story's weird. I always say I take everybody's side. But mama seemed like... I don't know. I don't want to call you mama because I feel like that's rude too. But ma'am, Miss Ma'am, sir's mama. I feel like you're putting all your energy towards the baby mama when she wasn't the setup chick. She probably knows information. Yeah, she probably messed. I know dudes that don't get along with my baby daddies. I know dudes that talk about, my baby daddy number 2's brother's ending. I know people that talk, that tells me stuff. Is it my place to go tell my baby daddy's family? No, I'm not cool with you in that way. Just because I have a kid with you, I don't have loyalty for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like all your energy is towards the wrong person.
What she's telling him, But my other 2 grandkids, they love him. I see them all the time. They over my house all the time, and they call their Gigi. His other baby mamas, we're on good terms. I love them. They're very genuine. Yeah, I don't see my oldest one, and that's okay right now, because it's unfortunate that he's stuck in the middle of this. So I'm gonna get justice, and if she has anything to do with it, she's going down like Frazier with the rest of them. Kiara, thank you for asking this question, because I actually forgot to mention that. I know I kind of flipped right past that in my story that I was telling. But yeah, so my mother was in the hospital throughout my son's burial. He was killed on December the 16th. I didn't have his funeral till December the 29th. So she was in the hospital the entire time. She was on a ventilator. The doctors had told us that my son's death literally broke her heart. So she had what they call as an aortic aneurysm, and that aortic aneurysm had burst in her heart. So he said that that's what they call a broken heart. So when you hear somebody has died from a broken heart, that's really what it is. So they were able to, get her back, and she's in the hospital for a very long time. She ended up coming home. She didn't remember what happened, but she said she looked at us when she saw us. Once she woke up from, they took her off the ventilator, and she saw me and my brother and my sister, and she looked at us and she said she knew that my son was gone, but she didn't want to ask again because she didn't want to believe it. So my mommy, she lasted. She stayed with us for about 2 years after his death. She ended up succumbing to that aneurysm, which means she ended up passing away in June of 2022. She basically died of a broken heart. She she said that when she was in her having the surgery while she was in the hospital the first time when my son was murdered, that she heard him tell her to wake up and Granny, we need you, wake up, they need you. So that's why she came back. Other than that, I don't think she would have came back that time, but I do believe she came back to kind of mend our hearts just a little bit, because it was just so much. Because at that time, when he was, when we were going through his burial, and getting the funeral and everything together, she was in the hospital fighting for her life. We didn't know if we were going to end up burying my mother around the same time as my son. That's how serious it was. But so I think she came back to kind of mend our broken hearts, to not take some of the pressure off of us. Before he passed, my mother was healthy as a horse. That incident where they murdered my son is what caused her broken heart and her aortic aneurysm. So we buried my mother in June of 2022. I buried my son in December of 2020. And when people, murder people, when you kill somebody, when you take someone's life, you not only take their life, you take their entire family's life. It changes the entire dynamic of somebody's life. And that's what my son's death did to our family. So, yeah, thank you for asking. I forgot to mention that. It was just so much. But yeah, my mama's no longer with us.
A grieving mother gets a first-hand look at surveillance video showing the moments after her son is murdered. Lakeisha Jeffrey's son, John Johnson Jr., was killed last December. LMPD just sent us these pictures, new clues about who shot him. Wave 3 News reporter Jerica Valtiera sat down with Johnson's mother.
Oh, no.
Emotions take over as Lakeisha Jeffrey watches this video. She sees these two men running after firing fatal rounds at her 26-year-old son, John Johnson Jr. The pair hops into a black car, then peels out onto Gagel Avenue.
That was the last time my son was breathing. That's where his soul was. And looking at this dude standing over the car shooting at my child.
That video is from December 16th, 2020, a year ago. Saturday night, Jeffrey is concerned it's taken this long to get something.
If I could have took those bullets for him, I would have, and he would have still been here to raise his kids.
A 5 and 6-year-old without their father, knowing what happened to him, a victim of Louisville's gun violence. A trend Jeffrey is hoping doesn't continue to play out. She's worried. Each time there's another homicide, detectives move farther away from clearing her son's case.
If they think that I'm going to stop fighting for justice for my son, I will never quit. I know they see a lot of people that go on with their life and just say, that's not me. I'm going to continue to fight because my child would have done the same.
Jeffrey says as long as the shooters are on the streets, who knows how many more lives they'll take from families.
And I hope that you are found and you are prosecuted to the maximum. And I want to see you face to face and look you in your eyes when you get sentenced, because you should not want to still be out here living a life after you just took someone's life that was so precious.
In Louisville, Jerica Valtiera, Wave 3 News.
Well, this was the most confusing story, because if you guys check part 1, the dude said, can you guys check part 1 and see if I'm tripping? Because the story ain't making sense. Second of all, Why in the news thing you said that there's a 5-year-old and 6-year-old? What happened to the oldest kid? How come the oldest kid is not part of it? Just because you got beef with the baby mother, how come the baby's not in the news too? Because you had 3. The 5 and 6-year-old left without a father. What about the other kid? I don't know. I feel like the story ain't added. Let me know. Let me know. Because I'm confused. Baby, you see me fidgeting and moving around because I didn't understand what was happening. Baby, this one's a long one. I thought it was a part 1, part 2, but I noticed it was only 40 minutes long. But I think it's going to be a little longer. So you better get your popcorn. Okay? Get your popcorn. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Shop my money for me, yo. Pounds and euro, that is so.